Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever heard a lie so big, so shocking, so dramatic, that people actually started believing it was true? Now imagine a man who built his entire career, his entire power, his entire image on lies. A man who could look straight into the camera, smile, and say things that were completely false, and still convince millions of people to believe him. That man is Donald J. Trump. From real estate to reality TV, from the White House to world stages, Trump has carried one weapon stronger than money, stronger than power, stronger even than nuclear bombs. That weapon is the art of lying. But here's the shocking part. Trump's lies were not normal political lies. No, these were lies so bold, so repeated, so shameless that they started sounding like truth. This is what psychologists call the illusory truth effect. The more you repeat a lie, the more people think it's true. Hitler used it, dictators used it, and Trump, he mastered it. Today we will dive deep into scandals, fake stories, false claims, propaganda, and unbelievable moments that prove why many experts call Donald Trump the biggest liar in U.S. presidential history. So sit back, buckle up, and let's uncover the shocking truth about the man who turned lying into an empire. Trump's lies are not accidents. They are not slips of the tongue. They are part of his strategy. The Washington Post tracked his statements during his first term as president. Do you know how many false or misleading claims he made? More than 35,000. That means, on average, he lied 21 times a day. Imagine this. You wake up in the morning, brush your teeth, check the news, and Trump has already lied 3 times before breakfast. By the time you go to sleep, he's lied 20 more times. This was his daily routine. Canadian newspaper Toronto Star also recorded over 5,200 lies from him between 2017 and 2019 alone. At first, many news outlets were afraid to use the word lie. They thought it was too strong. They would say false statement or misleading comment. But by 2019, even the media had no choice. They started openly calling them what they were, lies. Now, Trump didn't just lie. He also attacked anyone who tried to expose his lies. Steve Bannon, Trump's campaign CEO in 2016, said something chilling. Trump's real enemy is not the Democrats. His real enemy is the press. And the way to fight the press is to flood the zone with so much nonsense, so many statements, that no one knows what to believe. Think about that for a second. If you create so much confusion, if you throw so many lies into the world, people get tired of fact-checking. They give up. And in the end, they just accept your version of reality. This is exactly how Trump played the game. One of Trump's biggest and most dangerous lies came after the 2020 U.S. presidential election. He lost the election to Joe Biden, but instead of accepting defeat, he told the world that the election was stolen from him. Over and over again, he repeated, "This election was a fraud. This is a fraud on the American people. Frankly, we did win this election." This was not just a lie. This was the big lie. Historians compare it to Hitler's propaganda strategy. Tell a lie so big, so bold, that people can't imagine it being false, and repeat it until millions believe it. And it worked. Millions of Americans believed Trump. Some even stormed the U.S. Capitol on January 6, 2021, chanting his lies, ready to fight for him. That day proved how dangerous a lie can become when repeated by someone in power. But this was not Trump's first big lie. Go back to 2011. Trump started spreading a rumor that Barack Obama was not born in America. He went on TV, gave interviews, shouted in rallies. Obama doesn't have a birth certificate. He was born in Kenya, not in the U.S. He's not even a real American president. For 5 years, Trump kept pushing this conspiracy. People actually started doubting Obama. Finally, Obama himself had to release his official birth certificate, proving he was born in Hawaii in 1961. Did Trump apologize? Did he admit he was wrong? Of course not. He shifted the blame to Hillary Clinton, saying she started the rumor, even though fact-checkers proved she never said it. This was Trump's style. When caught, never admit, always deflect, always blame someone else. Trump's lies go way back, even before politics. In 1984, GQ magazine interviewed him. Trump bragged, "I own the entire block of Central Park South and Avenue of the Americas." In reality, he only owned 2 buildings on that block, barely 1/6 of it. The same year, he tricked Forbes magazine into putting him on the list of richest Americans. He inflated his wealth, called reporters pretending to be his own spokesperson under a fake name, John Barron. Yes, Trump literally disguised his voice, lied about his wealth, and made it into the Forbes list. Later, Forbes discovered the truth. Since then, they created a special rule: whatever number Trump claims, divide it by 3. That's closer to the real figure. But by then, the damage was done. Trump had already built his image as a billionaire genius, based on lies. In 2009, Trump bought a golf course in Florida. He built a stone monument there and wrote an inscription. This site was the location of a bloody Civil War battle. So much blood was spilled here that the river ran red. Sounds dramatic, right? Except, historians proved that no Civil War battle ever happened on that land. None. 0. When asked about it, Trump didn't back down. Instead, he insulted the historians. He wasn't just lying. He was rewriting history. Trump also claimed he had won 18 golf club championships. But investigations revealed he only won 2. The other 16, they were his own clubs where he threatened members. "If you beat me, your membership will be canceled." In other words, he bullied his way into victories. Professional golfer Brad Faxon once said, "Trump cheats like hell, especially in golf." Even in games, Trump couldn't play fair. Remember the famous book, The Art of the Deal? People thought Trump wrote it, but actually it was ghostwritten by journalist Tony Schwartz. Years later, Schwartz confessed, "I created a monster. I painted Trump as smarter, more disciplined, more successful than he really was. It was the biggest mistake of my career." Even in that book, Trump lied. For example, he wrote that his grandfather was American-born. In reality, his grandfather was German. Why the lie? Because after World War II, Americans hated Germans. Trump wanted to hide his German roots. During his 2016 campaign, Trump bragged, "In my book, I predicted Osama bin Laden's attack before anyone even knew his name." But fact-checkers went through the book word by word. Nowhere did Trump mention bin Laden, not once. In fact, Osama bin Laden was already America's most wanted 3 years before Trump's book came out. Another bold, shameless lie: Trump often pretended not to know things everyone else knew. For example, when asked about David Duke, leader of the white supremacist KKK group, Trump said, "I don't know him. I don't know what the KKK is." Really? The Ku Klux Klan is one of the most infamous racist groups in U.S. history, and a presidential candidate says he doesn't know them. Why did he play dumb? Because he didn't want to reject their support. And this wasn't new. Back in the 1970s, Trump and his father were sued by the U.S. government for refusing to rent apartments to black families. Over and over again, Trump's lies connected with racism. From saying Mexicans are rapists and criminals to mocking black accountants, he used lies and stereotypes to fuel division. By 2015, Trump's lying reputation became so obvious that fact-checking website FactCheck.org gave him a title: the King of Whoppers. They said, "In our 12 years of history, no one has lied as much as Donald Trump." And the scariest part, when caught, Trump never admitted. He doubled down. He repeated the lie louder. The Washington Post even created a new category called Bottomless Pinocchio. To qualify, a politician had to repeat the same false claim at least 20 times. Trump was the first, and the only, politician to earn this label, with 14 statements entering this category immediately. And yet, in 2022, at a rally in North Carolina, Trump stood on stage and said with a straight face, "I am the most honest human being God ever created." The crowd burst into laughter. But Trump, he wasn't joking, he meant it. So what do we learn from all this? Donald Trump didn't just lie, he lived lies. Lies were his business, his politics, his brand, his weapon. From fake wealth to fake wars, from conspiracies to propaganda, from golf games to presidential elections, Trump's story is a never-ending ocean of deception. And yet millions still believe him. Why? Because lies, when repeated, become powerful. They shape emotions. They divide societies. They even change the course of history. So next time you hear a leader speak, remember this story. Remember how one man built an empire of lies, and ask yourself, do I believe this because it's true? Or because I've heard it so many times that it feels true? Ladies and gentlemen, this was the story of Donald Trump, the man many call the greatest liar in American history. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and comment your thoughts below. And as always, stay aware, stay informed, and never let the lies win.